It's amazing. Real estate agents and mortgage people are exactly the same. 5 after everyone logs on.
Isn't that true? Welcome, everyone. How we doing?
Good.
Nobody
Well,
responds.
thank you.
It's so lonely.
Doing great. It is well. It is well.
Welcome. I see a lot of familiar faces. Welcome, you guys. We're going to give guys a few minutes to log on. Yet, as we're waiting, here's what I want to do. I want to hear from your perspective, what you expect to gain from today's webinar. I mean, you're taking your time, you're investing your time, you deserve a return on that investment. So I want to hear directly from you. What would make this webinar a 15 on a scale from 0 to 10? In essence, why did you show up? What do you expect to gain? Come on, talk to me.
Well, in today's market, I would say I'm looking for an aha moment, great opportunity from some new lead sources. I mean, I probably have 15, 20 different lead sources, and to take on another one would be great if it could give me that aha moment. So I'm hoping to have that aha moment today.
Right on, David. Well, I think you're in the right place. I really do. And thank you for speaking up. Somebody else tell me what needs to happen to make it a 15 on a scale from 0 to 10. Come on, talk to me.
I think it's just a little bit of a step-by-step guide on how to find the houses and things like that.
Okay, so how to list build, a step-by-step guide. You're definitely going to get that today, Grace. Thank you for speaking up. I love it. Hey, everybody, do me a favor real fast. Go to the lower tray. And what I want you to do is open up the chat section. Just go ahead and do that right now. And next, what I want you to do is just enter the city and state in which you sell real estate. Now, if you're smart, and I know you are, I want you to look through that list and think, who do I know in that state? Who can I refer to that person? I want this community that we're focused on building to add value to also give you an opportunity to connect with others, to send and receive referrals back and forth. So open up the chat. Again, the main city that you focus on, and talk about the main city. Like, for example, when I sold real estate in Arvada and Boulder, Colorado, okay? Yet when they ask me a question like this, I'd always say Denver, because Denver's the major metropolitan, right? They don't know Arvada. How many of you guys have ever heard of Arvada, Colorado? Anyone? Yet I would sell 450 homes a year in Arvada, Colorado, yet nobody's heard of it, right? So put in your major market city. And where are you at? I see them all coming in, and I love that you guys are putting in your connection symbols and all that. That is beautiful. And we see you all over the place, from Florida to California, all over the country. This is fantastic, you guys. I love it.
Sean, what I love is I don't see anybody else from my area. That's what I love.
And that's awesome, David, no doubt. All right. And again, we're seeing a whole bunch of people flowing in. Well, first off, what we focus on expands. I think you would all agree with that. So what I want to hear from somebody in this audience, something good that has happened to you or for you over the course of the last month. Somebody tell me something good.
I guess that could be one of my buddies owns a 55 plus development, and he sent me over a client. I own a We Buy Ugly house franchise. He sent me over a client, and I bought their property. So you don't find freebies like that. So that was awesome. That was just today.
The come list me's are amazing. Congratulations, David. Do you know what that is?
No, go ahead.
Somebody tell David, what is that?
Winning.
That's winning, Angela.
I'll take it.
That is winning. Way to go. Way to go, David. All right, guys, without any further ado, I'd like to start our webinar. We're going to talk to you about list building. And guys, everything, and I mean everything in business development, it starts with list building. And we've brought an expert on the call with us today, somebody who's studied this industry for the last decade and a half, okay? Working with a company that's been doing this for over 30 years, started in the 80s, believe it or not, and providing data to realtors. They've come as close to anyone in perfecting the model of list building for you so that you're calling the right prospects. You're investing your time in the right areas and calling the right people. See, gang, time is the only inventory that we possess in this business. Say, no, I've got 15 listings. That's my inventory. No, your inventory is actually time. And the goal here is to create time abundance, making sure that you're calling those prospects that are ready to list with you in the next 30 to maybe 90 days. And getting that list is going to be critical to the trajectory of your growth, your bank account balance, your net income, your net worth, and enhance your ability to retire from real estate someday. Now, before we start into the data collection and that whole system that's already been built for you, which is so, I mean, this is the easy button. Guys, when I started in real estate, there was no easy button. This is, in fact, the easy button. Another thing that I want to introduce you to, if you're above 8 million in total sales volume on an annualized basis, you, or maybe you and your team, I want to introduce Greg Wareham, by the way. He's with Federal Savings Bank, and they're a national company. And he's going to tell you a little bit about an opportunity that allows you to align with them to, in essence, create a line extension to your current sales process and make a heck of a lot more money. How many of you guys want to make more money? Show me your hands. Come on. How many of you want to make more money? What would it feel like to get 50 basis points on every buyer deal that you could close through Federal Savings Bank? What would that feel like? Let's say you close $1 million mortgage and you get a check for $5,000 outside of your commission. Wouldn't that feel good? Well, Greg, you're going to talk to us about that today. So we're going to just take a couple of minutes, guys. I want to expose you to all the opportunities that are in front of you. So Greg Wareham, everybody, with Federal Savings Bank, take it away.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Sean. I appreciate everyone's time, spending a few minutes with you. I know how important your time is. So at the Federal Savings Bank, we've opened up a program that has enabled us to hire real estate agents. We call them real estate bankers, to allow you to earn revenue from the buy side of the transaction and also benefit from the side of the transaction that relates to mortgage. Now, our process is pretty straightforward. Because we're a federally chartered bank, there's no need for individual state licensing. So we've really removed the barrier to entry, where you could go and get licensed on your own, take the 20-hour course, and then pass the state test. But as a federal bank, that federal charter usurps the need for that state licensing. So the agents that we work with currently, we have a really simple path for them. Is once we've hired them, we put them through a one-day training to get educated on our process and what we need to do. And then we have some additional continuing education as well that we put them through internally. So again, you don't have to go out and take the test and do those classes. Now picture this. So now you're a registered real estate banker and you have your cell phone. You'll have an app on your phone that's called the Blend app, and it's really an industry standard on the mortgage side. When you have a prospective buyer who's interested in getting pre-approved for a mortgage, all you have to do is forward the application over to them. They complete the application. Once they hit submit, it merges into our database, and we're going to partner you with a senior mortgage banker who's going to take the transaction from there. So that senior mortgage banker is going to reach out to the buyer. They're going to do the pre-approval and walk them through the traditional channels that you're used to, ask them for the documents and so forth. Once the transaction goes under contract, we'll turn the transaction live, we'll send the disclosures out, and there's a couple steps of RESPA that you'll need to complete to keep everything compliant so you can earn compensation on the deal. A couple of those items are things like ordering the appraisal and ordering the verification of assets. So you'll get a push notification to your Blend app when the time comes, and you have to order the appraisal, and then you have to order the verification of assets. Once that's completed, it's logged into our system because it keeps everything compliant. We'll go through the rest of the process with underwriting, mortgage commitment, et cetera, clear you for closing, close the transaction. Now, one thing I really want to make clear is you will not be responsible for reaching out to the borrower, talking about interest rates, collecting W-2s or anything like that. We're to handle that entire stage of the process. We want to partner with you, or have the potential ability to partner with you to facilitate the process. And most importantly, make sure you're getting paid on the money, make sure we're paid on the transaction, make sure that we're staying RESPA compliant so we have the longevity of the program, and then also give you control of the transaction when and if you ever need it. As I mentioned, you have that Blend application. So when the appraisal's in, you get notified on your phone. You're not waiting for a third party to give you a call. When the commitment's issued, you get a notification to your phone, so you're not waiting for a third party to do it. What I would suggest, if you're interested, I would like to set up separate one-on-one conversations with everyone to really do a deeper dive as to what everything looks like. To Sean's point, if you do $1 million in transactions, you're paid what's called 50 basis points. That's 1/2 of 1%, which would be $5,000. And in this era where there's a lot of pressure on our commissions in real estate, this can really help to add for you in a revenue stream. So If you have any questions, I'll put the link in the chat. It's agentconnectlive.com. It's critical that you list Sean in there as well as the referral source, because that's going to trigger a special process that we put together just for this group. Someone will reach out to you, set up an appointment, and really give you the individual consideration that you're going to need to understand exactly what we're doing and lead you down that path of having an ancillary income.
Greg, that is so awesome. Guys, in 1999, I was so frustrated with the LOs that I was working with, meaning they would overpromise and underdeliver, and I was just stressed constantly. So what I ended up doing is I fired all of them. I started my own mortgage company. I got to tell you, there were so many hoops and red tape I had to cut through. It was a challenge to start the mortgage company, yet once I started it, I had total control of the situation, which was what I wanted, what I needed. I didn't do it for the money, and yet we made a ton of money through the mortgage company, and we had more control. And this is what we're talking about here. Not only will you have more control, yet you'll be able to add a line extension that is in parallel to what you're currently doing, where all you have to do is simply refer the buyer over to Federal Savings Bank through the app, and really you're going to earn 50 basis points on every deal you close. And with the dwindling number of transactions over the last couple of years, I think it makes sense to try and really wring it out, get as much cash out of every transaction as you possibly can. And this is by far the easiest way to make that happen. I've heard other models out there where you have to go through the 20 hours of training, you have to get your NMLS number, your license, all of those things, yet they've streamlined this process to make it really simple for you. So let me caution you, if you're above 8 million in sales volume per year, you qualify for this opportunity. If you're below 8 million, I'd encourage you to engage with Icon Coaching. Let us help you get to 8 million plus. Then you can plug into this opportunity. Now, Greg, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you being here, bud. Next, we're going to move on to Sean Farr. Yeah, thank you, buddy. You did a great job. Sean Farr, we're going to talk with an expert in data collection, meaning like mass data, just segmentation to get it down to the prospects that you should invest your time with. And remember, the only inventory you have in this life is time. And where you choose to invest it is going to set your trajectory. It's going to allow you to provide for yourself, your loved ones at a very high level for years and years to come. Before we dive into this, Sean, give us a little background about LandVoice.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. It's great to see everybody here. Really appreciate being on with you, Sean. Sean and I are pretty good friends. Sean, I remember a decade and more ago hanging out with you and Rob at some pretty big real estate conferences. So it's fun to kind of reconnect and be with you and with the rest of the group. Guys, many of you know LandVoice. Some of you don't. As Sean mentioned, LandVoice has been around for a very, very long time. LandVoice used to fax data to real estate agents back in the 90s. And that was kind of a crazy time. Obviously, things have changed since then. You know, LandVoice, a lot of people they don't know this about us, but we were actually acquired by a parent company of a group that was funded by Goldman Sachs. And that year anniversary is about to hit August 1st. We're really excited about that. But I can just tell you, we've been working really hard the last year to perfect everything in LandVoice. So, you know, I've been with LandVoice since 2010. In the last year, though, we've audited every data point that we have, replaced some data points. And I want to show you today some things. And I mentioned this to Sean earlier. We're working with 500 of the top producing teams across the country right now to help them with data and to help them list more homes. And what I want to show you today is what we're doing. And then more importantly, I want to spend a lot of time on a brand new product that's exclusive for agents just like you in your area that can help you crush it in today's market. And so I want to give you just kind of a quick update on some things that LandVoice is doing. And then more importantly, I want to talk to you about something new that we really feel like is going to help innovate and help you grow your business. So if you know LandVoice, you know that we bundle a lot of different products together. And again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but LandVoice is in the business of appending contact information on all the expired data in your MLS. So we deliver that every morning. You log into landvoice.com and you've got, boom, brand new expireds every day with a status update of when that goes active. We let you know, hey, don't call these contacts this data anymore. It's now active or been relisted on the MLS. So we're that company. We're here to help you list homes that are ready to be listed. We also aggregate for sale by owner data from over 1,700 sources every day. We have a team overseas that reviews every single for sale by owner to make sure it's not an agent listed property. And then we deliver that every morning to you as well. And that's the for sale by owners. Something that a lot of people are ignoring right now that you should definitely pay attention to is the pre-foreclosure data. Now, there's not a lot of pre-foreclosure data out there, Sean. I mean, I just did a podcast with a group and we are only showing 93 to 95,000 foreclosures in the country. Since COVID, there just hasn't been a lot happening in the foreclosure market. And obviously nothing like we saw in the financial crisis in 08, 9, 10, 11. But nobody's contacting these homeowners because no one thinks there's any foreclosures. Well, there's about 93 to 95,000 across the country. We can deliver that to you every morning. I was on a webinar just like this yesterday, and one person typed in and said, yeah, foreclosures are hot. I just listed 4 this month by contacting pre-foreclosures. So I love that data set. I think it's an ignored data set that most realtors, most people in our industry have just kind of forgotten about. And if I can give you a few hot tips, that would be one, is really pay attention to the pre-foreclosures in your area. LandVoice has access to it nationwide and can deliver that to you every morning.
And for those of you
and
who
then
don't understand, it means that they've hit the notice of default list. And there are several stages that the mortgage company has to go through before they can actually get them into foreclosure. We want to catch them before they're in foreclosure. They're in a have to sell situation in a lot of cases. And yet, while there's not a ton of them out there, I mean, 95,000 across the US, that's not a lot. I totally get that. Yet the season is coming. And I want you to be prepared for the season. I mean, imagine that tomorrow it turns into winter in your area. Do you have your coats in your closet? Are you ready to go outside in that type of weather? I want to prepare you for that. I want you to be prepared because it is undoubtedly coming.
No doubt. And we are seeing increases, and we're going to talk about kind of this wave that's coming in a minute, Sean. But this is a huge opportunity for many of you. And I want to actually, some of you guys know this, so it's going to be a little bit of redundancy for you. But for those of you that have kind of never dived into pre-foreclosure, let me get geeky or just a little nerdy for you. Sean talked about notice of default in pre-foreclosure. When someone misses a payment on a home, the bank reaches out. They're a little nervous. Well, after 2 and 3 and 4 payments, now the bank's really nervous and they've got to begin the foreclosure process. Now there's 2 types of states in our country. And if you don't know this, write this down. We have a judicial state and a non-judicial state. And in each of those states, the bank has to file either a notice of default to begin the foreclosure process, or in the other states, they have to file a Latin term called lis pendent, LISPENDEN. When that lis pendent or that notice of default is filed, now the clock starts ticking. And depending on the state that you're in, it's usually somewhere between 60 days and 180 days before the bank can actually foreclose on the property. Well, before that foreclosure happens, the bank also has to file a public notice, typically in the paper, sometimes now online. We call it a notice of trustee sale or a notice of sale or notice of foreclosure sale. And those typically will happen 2 to 6 weeks before the auction. Now, LandVoice provides all of that to you, the notice of default or the lis pendent, and then the notice of sale or the notice of foreclosure sale. So you know how soon that auction's taking place. The beautiful thing about pre-foreclosures is there's so much equity in people's homes right now that we're not talking about short sales. You're reaching out to homeowners, you're finding out their situation, and then we're doing 2 things to help them. We want to save their credit by helping them sell their home as quickly as we can. And we're helping save their equity so it doesn't go to auction. They don't lose their equity. They don't hurt their credit. So do I love pre-foreclosures? Yeah, I'm a little nerdy about pre-foreclosures. And I think it's definitely something everyone should look at. In your business, we hope you all have 2 or 3 different pillars of income. One of those pillars, in my opinion, should be expireds, FSBOs, and pre-foreclosures. But think through what are those pillars? And if there's a shift or a pivot in our market, what does that do for you and your business? Well, hopefully you've got 2 or 3 of those pillars so that you're diversified and in a really good place. But I hope you're thinking about that and finding ways to diversify. And the last thing, Sean, there's a lot of other products out there, but the kind of our 4 core at LandVoice, the other one is neighborhood search. Anytime you have an open house, you've listed a home, you've sold a home, we think you should draw a little boundary on our map, and we'll pull up all the homeowners with all of their contact information so you can reach out to them and talk to them about the home you've just listed or just sold or an open house that you have over the weekend. That's another great tool to prospect and kind of build your database, Sean.
Out of curiosity, Sean, how long does it take to provide the data to the agent once they've drawn their boundary around that particular neighborhood and they hit submit? How long does it take them to get the contact information, the names, the address, the phone number, even in some cases, cell phone numbers and email addresses? How long does it take to get that data?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So if you pick up your cup of coffee and you take a sip, before that sip is swallowed, we should have all that information for you. I mean, literally, we're talking about seconds. The system's really amazing. We're sitting on a database of every property in the country, guys. And now we just have to append phone and email and get you the contact information. So it doesn't take long at all. It's a few seconds.
I
Sean,
love
and
it. I love when
it's
an
sitting
agent
there
says,
ready.
well, I don't know who to call. I don't know how to get access to phone numbers. Come on. It's really simple. In fact, Sean, just let the cat out of the bag. What kind of an offer are you going to give them at the end of this webinar?
Yeah, there's two really cool offers. You guys see the link here, landvoice.com/icon. Sean and I have been working together for a long time. He said, Sean, I don't want them to go to your homepage and pay full price. That's bananas. So Sean and I came together and we've got a really cool offer for you. Now, guys, I was shopping. Landvoice has some competitors out there. I just got on their sites last week. They're charging for these 4 products anywhere from $250 to $450 a month. It's crazy. Sean has negotiated with us. We've got a great offer. All 4 products. It's $100 a month. If you want to pay quarterly or annually, you can save even more money. Go to that site. You're going to get all 4 products and you're going to list. My goal is to help you list 2 to 3 to 4 homes a month. If we've got the right systems in place with Sean's scripts and everything else that you're working on, it's an opportunity to really grow your business. So $100 a month is a no-brainer to get 4 products that really typically retail somewhere between $200 and $450, depending on the other guys you're looking at, but you're getting ripped off with everybody else. We're going to get you a really good offer. We're going to get you the best data. We're funded by Goldman Sachs, and just watch out. We've got 3 or 4 more products we're going to be launching this year and next. We just launched one a couple of weeks ago, and that's what we're going to spend the most amount of time on. Sean, that's the first offer. The second offer is everybody stays. We've got a gift for them for the next 30 days. And so stick around at the end. We're going to give you something even cooler at the end after we talk about this new product that we've launched.
So don't leave, you guys. I'm telling you, you're going to learn a lot. And by improving your knowledge and your skills, that's going to automatically improve your mindset. And then at Icon Coaching, we're going to work with you on your habits as well as your knowledge and skills, which will lead to a higher level of competence and give you a higher level of confidence. And guys, mindset and confidence, that is 99% of the game in real estate sales. I promise you. Even a salesperson without a lot of skill, if they talk to enough people, they get the right mindset, they got the right confidence, they're going to do deals. There's no doubt about that. So Sean, back to you, bud. Oh, and by the way, if we have time at the end of the webinar, we're going to talk through a few for sale by owner and expired scripts, maybe even some circle prospecting scripts for neighborhood data, if we have time, that are almost magical, that will get you appointment after appointment after appointment. All right, so let's get through this so that we have time to get through that.
I love it. Yeah, there's a reason, guys. Top performing agents are using this data. Like I said, we're working with the top 500 teams across the country. If you're not using this, someone on your team better be. And if you don't have a team, you got to start here. So give it a try. Take a look at it. That's not why I'm here today. Today, I want to talk to you about something new that I think is going to revolutionize your business, something I think all of you should be aware of. And so let's jump right into it. Oh, we got some funny pricing here. Let me get through this slide. All right, here we go. Guys, if you're not feeling the economic headwinds right now, there's some real turbulence in the air. There's some real problems in our economy. Obviously, inflation's a big piece to that, but I want to show you some stats and some things that are happening. Now, back in 08, Sean, I had a guy leave. I was working for a very large corporation. And he left and he became a realtor in 2008. And I said, dude, what are you doing? Like, things are falling apart. Don't leave a nice, cushy job with a salary. Don't go sell real estate right now. This is not the time. Well, he got into the market, in the industry in 08, and he absolutely crushed it. I mean, in his first year, he made $300,000 to $400,000 in commission. And the next year he made 500 or 600. I think he capped at about 800,000 in GCI after his second or third year. But listen, I was a jealous guy being in the corporate world that he left me and crushed it. And what he did, Sean, is he pivoted in real estate quickly to what the economy and the opportunity was making available to him at the time, right? And that was foreclosures. And he was doing a lot with foreclosures. Now, there's some really cool opportunities in foreclosures right now, but what I want to show you is with all the headwinds that are happening, there's a shift happening. And with every shift, there's an opportunity. And that's what I want to show you today is the opportunity available for you to work with a select group of homeowners in your market where you can absolutely crush it. So we've tested this data that I'm about to show you across the country with different top performing teams. And now it's time to go to market. We've been in market for a few weeks, and everyone we're talking to is having a lot of fun with this. So let's talk for just a second. What are we seeing economically? And then how can LandVoice help you in this shift that's happening economically?
Love it.
Few
That is
stats, and I don't want to
exactly
bore.
what we want, Sean. Thank you.
Yeah. And I don't want to bore you guys with stats, so I'm going to do fast on these, but let's just go through them and let's talk state of the economy. This is Paul Dietrich, and he's basically talking about a little bit of the economy and what's happening. His prediction is my prediction, and that is the U.S. economy and stock market are on a clear path to recession. If it happens or it doesn't, I don't know, but I feel some things in the air, guys. And it's Paul said the economy and the stock market have never seen anything like what we're experiencing today. Everything reminds him of a dot-com bubble in 2001 and 2002. So everything I show you today, I'm not predicting 2008 and a huge financial crisis, guys, but I do think there's a bit of a bubble, a bit of a recession coming. And with every recession, that's not stuff we should be fearful for or afraid of. We just need to pivot our business and focus our energy and our attention on those things that are going to get us the best fruit, right? That are going to maximize our time and our effort and everything else that we do. A couple of other stats. Let me just share these real quickly with you. Bloomberg, they said 43% of small businesses were unable to pay their rent in full in April due to economic headwinds. And I'm seeing that. Now, I'm based out of Salt Lake City, and I'm in a very predominant, nice area. But just in the last 2 months, I've seen 4 businesses shut their doors and close down. And so there's some hardships. There's some things happening specifically with small business. But more importantly, we see some headwinds, right? Want to talk to you about credit card debt for just a second. The percentage of credit card balances is in serious delinquency right now. 90 days or more is what our current country and the climate of our economy, we're seeing credit card not only balances grow, but there's a 90-day or more delinquency, and it's the highest level since 2012. Okay, that's not from me. That's from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. That's something that they just produced. One more on credit cards. U.S. credit card delinquency rates were the highest on record in the fourth quarter of last year, but that continues to rise as well. I haven't seen the stats in Q1. Q2 will be coming out soon. And then foreclosures, the Citadel's predicting a default cycle is going to happen again. It's just nobody really knows when, right? I think I've got 1 or 2 more here, so bear with me. This is from the S&P Global. They say the percentage of companies that have defaulted on their debt more than once, so it's just not one quick missed payment, has reached the second highest level since 2008. Now, guys, if you're putting all this together, and we're seeing other trends too, right? We're seeing a fall in savings accounts across the country. We're seeing an increase in balances in credit cards. We're seeing delinquencies with small businesses. I'm also seeing, and I don't know if you're tracking this as well, but the delinquencies in car payments and even repos has gone up substantially over the last 6 months. And so these are the trends. Fox News says home foreclosures are on the rise again. I don't know if I'm seeing that yet. Like, I'm watching foreclosures over here at LandVoice. I'm seeing pre-foreclosures 93, 94, 95,000 every month. It's basically zero in my opinion. But then I started tracking another stat. And over the last 9 months, I've been watching this closely. And this is where I'm a little bit worried about our economy, but more importantly, I know it's important for us as realtors to pivot to be ready for that next shift in our economy. I think this is my last one. Guys, the other thing that's really kind of spooky is over 300 banks right now are at a higher risk of failure. Now, these are smaller banks. These aren't necessarily all the bigger banks, but the stat from FAU Financial Expert is there's over $600 billion in bad debt in these 300 banks. So is there a financial crisis coming? I don't think so, but man, some of these stats are a little bit worrisome. This just came out in May and is something to be worried about. Okay, so what are we seeing over here at LandVoice? Well, pre-foreclosures, I just told you you're at a kind of an all-time high, or at a very low, right? Not at an all-time high. In fact, I'd equate it to this small little mountain in this figure here in the bottom right corner of your screen. It's minuscule. But what I started tracking in Q4 of last year was how many people are actually missing payments on their mortgage. Now, remember, a person can't just miss one payment, the bank starts foreclosing. They usually are a little bit more patient with that. They send a letter, they make a call, they start working with the homeowner. They don't just start foreclosure when someone misses one payment. But what I'm telling you is, as we started tracking homeowners that are in distress, that missed 1, in 2, in 3, and even 4 payments, it's somewhat alarming, guys. So I'm seeing, depending on the month, somewhere between 1.3 million and 1.5 million homes that are in what I would call distress, that are missing credit card payments, missing car payments, and now even missing mortgage payments, Sean. And that's the part that's a little alarming to me. Is I saw the repos, I saw the credit cards, and I said, okay, I'm a real estate guy. How can I geek out and help the agents across the country? And that's when we started looking at mortgage payments. So we created a product that we call Distressed, Sean. And we're not going to tell you exactly how many days someone's missed a payment, but I'm just here to tell you homeowners are in distress and this number keeps climbing. So is it something that we should lose sleep about? No, we should get really excited because there's an opportunity to help homeowners. And that's the industry we're in, is to service homeowners, help them save their credit, help them save their equity. But it provides an opportunity for you, especially with all the question marks, being a buyer's agent and commissions and things there. Why not just list more homes and crush it on this side? And I think with this new product, we can help you do that. Any thoughts or comments, Sean? I don't want to filibuster if you got something over there.
Well, no, I love this approach because it's all about listings. See, guys, getting buyers is easy. All you have to do is advertise houses. That's it. You're going to get buyer leads. You could advertise it on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can send out email blasts, e-newsletters, advertising houses, right? Yet you're going to get buyer leads, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. I was a buyer's agent the first part of my career from age 20 to 30 as a buyer agent, okay? There's nothing wrong with working with buyers. Yet on the other hand, listings are leverage. The moment you put your sign in front of somebody's house for sale, every agent within your local board has now joined your team, aligned with you to get this property sold. So you can go sit on a beach somewhere. You can relax, knowing that all these other agents are working for you to get that listing sold. So what I love about this approach, Sean, is that it's listing focused. And gang, if you want to last in this business, you better list in this business.
Now,
So
I will say something about this list.
I love the approach. It's so good.
Yeah. And I appreciate that, Sean. And I just introduced it to you. I'm going to tell you a lot more about it right now, but I'm also going to take it away from some of you. Like, this isn't for everybody. Okay. So if you're not an agent that can call a homeowner and then follow up with them and kind of establish a relationship, Distressed isn't for you, because these aren't like FSBOs and expireds. When I call a FSBO or I call an expired, most of these people have to list their home and have to get it sold in the next 30 days. Distressed isn't kind of that same thing. Distressed, I'm handing you now a list of distressed. If you're to sign up for this product, this is something that you have to kind of build a relationship, because typically they didn't wake up this morning saying, I have to sell my home. These are people, though, that are going to need to sell their home in the next 60 to 90 days. And if you have a CRM and a drip campaign and you have a process to follow up with people, or if Sean can help you do those things, this is the list where you will absolutely crush it. But it involves follow-up, because they didn't wake up this morning want to list. They woke up this morning stressed and feeling a lot of financial pressure. And what we're saying is it's more of kind of a predictive model, or who's going to be selling in the next 60 to 90 days. Everybody get that? Because I want to be really open and upfront that this might not be, you might not be ready for this. You're probably ready for FSBOs and expireds. Every business should be in our market. This is something that you got to have some follow-up. You got to have some processes that I know, Sean, you can help out with those things, the operational procedures in the business, right?
Undoubtedly. And by the way, guys, if you do have a question, go deep enough on a particular point, just go to the lower tray. In fact, do this with me real fast. And what I want you to do is I want you to click the little button that says animations. And maybe you have to hit the more button like I do. And should be an animations button there where you can raise your hand. And maybe Zoom just shifted this in the last couple of days, but you should be able to raise your hand. And if you do have a question, just raise your hand. We'll get to you when the time is appropriate, okay? Go ahead, John.
Hey, Sean, that's under React with a little heart down there.
Oh, okay, so they changed it.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you,
under
Rob.
React.
It's under React now.
Right.
Okay, guys. So the big question is, how do I get this data? What is it going to cost me? What exactly is going to happen with this? We do have a hand. Looks like Judy has a question. We can answer that, Sean, whenever you like. And we're going to get into kind of all the details here.
Okay, Judy, let's take it away, Judy. Go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
How old are these distress data that we're going to be paying for?
How old is it? Great question, Judy. And essentially, it's not old at all. We get updates every day on this file. You'll typically get a file, and it'll be a one-time file that will update for you each month, because a lot of people, they might miss a payment. The next month they'll fall off this list. Well, other people will come back onto it. So we do a monthly update on this file, or you can just use it one time and start working with it for the next 60 to 90 days. It really just depends on your model and how aggressive you want to be as far as getting updates. But typically we're going to update it once a month for you.
Okay, the reason I asked, because I had signed up for this years ago, but the data in there for the pre-foreclosure, and I don't know if you're calling it the same thing or not as this distress, but it would go back like to 2006. If the property had been in back on payments, it was on there. Well, to me, that data was entirely too old.
No. Yeah. Did you see that with another company, or where were you getting that data?
This was from Land Voice.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I've been with them a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
is
think
this
you were
gonna
getting
get recorded? Are we gonna get a recording of this webinar?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll
So
send
Judy,
it out to
whatever
everybody
that
who's
was,
registered.
I think you were getting some historical data back then. That's not what you'll see anymore with Land Voice, a brand new company with a huge funding that came through last year. So total different experience, a brand new redesigned user interface that'll be much more modern for you to work with as well, Judy.
Fantastic. Josephina, Ms. Wells, take it away.
Yes, hi guys. I've been with Land Voice for a couple of months, and I have a couple of questions as well in regards of the lease pendants and all. You start talking about something, but my question to you is how quick we should be contacting and how often we would, if it is in a lease pendants situation and status, and if it is in auction, already set auctions. Obviously here in Florida we don't have that many currently, but I wanted to kind of be more aggressive towards those two, because I know there's not a lot of people focusing on them right now, and I wanted to
Correct.
kind of start ahead and just question, what is the recommendation for us to go and start contacting those lease pendants and pre-foreclosures when they're on this status? What is gonna happen with,
A
what
really good
period?
question, Josephina. My recommendation is to call any list pendant or notice of default as soon as possible. As soon as that list pendant or notice of default is filed with the bank and into the county, the clock starts ticking before the bank can actually sell that home at auction. So we want to reach out with pre-foreclosure data. Again, the list pendant or notice of default, you want to reach out immediately, start working with the homeowner. They should be in a place that they want to list immediately. And that's the opportunities to try and get it on the market, get it sold before that home does go to auction. That is definitely my recommendation there.
And I would underline that, put an exclamation mark behind it. And I would encourage you to engage what I call the 3x3 approach. That'd be 3 attempts per day for the first 3 days in a row. And you say, Sean, that's way aggressive. These people are in trouble. They need your help. And when people are under financial duress, they don't think properly, or at least that's been my experience. What they do is they procrastinate. They're praying to God. They're praying to whatever they have to pray to make sure that the situation, some miracle shows up. So you've got to be aggressive. Be aggressive. Okay. So 3 attempts per day for the first 3 days in a row, 3 attempts per week for the next 3 weeks in a row, and 3 attempts per month for the next 3 months in a row. Ideally, they don't go to foreclosure and the opportunity is missed for them and for you, yet 3 attempts per day. That should consist of at least 2 phone calls per day and 1 text message. So what I'd recommend, you call them, you get their voicemail, don't leave a message.
Right.
Simply text them.
Message, no text, just by reaching.
I'm sorry, Josephina?
I said no text, no voicemail to leave. You wanted to really get to talk to the person.
Yeah, so what I would do is I'd call them, If I get their voicemail, I'd hang up. Then what I would do is immediately double dial them. Now that's kind of annoying to people. It's annoying to me, yet it's effective. It truly is. It's effective. Now, if they answer the call, what you have to do is a little bit of tap dancing, right? And Josefina, when you answer the second time, hi, is this Josefina? Hey, Josefina, it's Sean Kokoska. I'm so sorry to double dial you. I was trying to leave you a message, and unfortunately, the cell dropped, and so I called right back in hopes to leave you a message. Thank you for taking my call. And then you lead into your script, which we're going to get into the script a little bit later in the call. Then, if they don't answer the second time, do not leave a message. Just simply hang up and drop them a text message. Is this Josefina? And is it Josephina or Josefina?
Josephina.
Josephina. Okay, perfect. So if you receive 2 missed calls in a row, and then immediately you get a text saying, is this Josephina? What would you say? Or what would you do?
Yes or no? Yes, of course.
Yeah, you text back and say, yes, who's this?
Mm-hmm.
And then the first contact is simply to get them on the phone. That's the only goal. And once you get them on the phone, the only goal is to set an appointment, right?
Right.
So they bounce back and say, yes, this is Josephina. Who's this? This is Sean Kokoska. I'm with eXp Realty. I noticed your home is in pre-foreclosure, and I specialize in homes that are in pre-foreclosure. I want to help. When do you have 5 minutes to connect?
Got it. Thank you.
There is
So good,
psychological
Sean.
evidence getting that if they respond once, they're going to respond twice. See, it's as though you backed them into a corner. They feel like, oh, well, they've already got my contact information. I've already responded. They're going to respond again. Okay. So that's my input. 3x3 approach, gang. It works. It worked for me. It works for all of my clients, and it's definitely going to work for you. Let's go over to David Tatum real quick.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yes, sir. Just wanted to understand with this new interface that you've got, are you going to have any integrations with, like the posting pin with any dialers or anything like that? And then also, could you clarify a little bit more about the upcoming TCPA changes, to text messaging and cold calling, what have you? That may be too much for this call, but if you could just maybe inform on that.
David, really good questions. Thank you. Yeah, so this is the new UI. In regards to TCPA, that's a whole nother webinar that we can speak on. I've got a lot of facts and details to share with you. I will tell everyone that we do scrub every phone number against the DNC and highlight it in red. This tells you it's a cell phone. This tells you it's on the DNC, and we highlight it in red because it's on the DNC. The numbers in green are not on the do not call registry. So again, we'll have to spend some more time or another webinar, Sean, and talk more about the TCPA rules and regulations with text and other things. We would just recommend that you honor the DNC and focus on those phones that are not on the DNC. You'll also see an upgrade in our service in the next 2 to 3 weeks where you'll have a substantially higher amount of emails and social media links to reach out to these homeowners in different ways other than just a phone call. Sean, time's going really, really fast. If you don't mind, I want to get a few more slides down. And then Ray, Ariana, hold those questions. I want to get to you guys as soon as I can. Everybody,
Keep your hands up though, guys. If you do have a burning question, keep them up.
Yes,
Go ahead,
please.
Sean.
So a couple things here with distressed, guys. This is not a pre-foreclosure. We could call it a propensity to sell. We could call it a pre-foreclosure. These are homeowners in financial stress that I want to get you ahead of the line and start building a relationship, becoming top of mind with these homeowners so that when they do list in the next 60 to 90 days, you've already worked with them. You're already sending them your drip campaigns. You're already sending them a market update or a report on their home, something that gets them in a place where you have a relationship, because these are the people that will be listing their homes next, in our opinion. Okay, so a couple things you're going to see here. We're not going to tell you how many days late they are on their mortgage, but this is going to tell you this is a lower distress home. And this is going to tell you this is one that's very close to becoming a notice of default or a lis pendens, depending on the state that you're in. Okay, so you have 4 bars here to show you how distressed these homes might be. If you click on the address, we'll get you details about this home. We'll get you a Zillow link and a map aerial photo. You'll have phones to cross out, leave notes and tags. It's a pretty simple interface to work with. Oh, and David, I missed your other question as far as integrations. We do integrate with one really big dialer. That's Mojo. You give us your Mojo PIN. We'll push all this data into Mojo for you each day. And so just be aware of that. We also have a high priority later this year in Q4 to integrate with quite a few CRMs and systems. And so be watching for those updates as well. Okay,
Fantastic.
so this is just showing again the level of distress. This is showing your phone numbers, the one that you want to call. Let
Sean,
me
quick
give
question.
you guys.
You also
Yeah,
scrub
please.
it to make sure that it's not already listed, correct?
Yeah, we do. So every day, because we have access to the MLS information on your expireds, your FSBOs, and now you're distressed, we can mark it and say, hey, it's active. And we'll highlight that in red and say, don't call it anymore. It's listed on the MLS. So another benefit to paying for the services, that's something you don't need to worry about. One other addition, we've done a lot of upgrades, guys. The upgrades keep coming. But it used to be we only scrubbed all your phone numbers against the national DNC, do not call registry. We found that there's 13 states now that have their own do not call registry, and we're scrubbing against those state DNCs as well to protect you and make sure you're all taken care of. Now, as we've tested this data, Sean, we found that most realtors started calling this data and they were just shooting themselves in the foot. They weren't saying the right thing. So I want to talk about that for just a second. This is a unique list, and the way we present ourselves to the homeowner, it counts and it matters. So let's talk through this for a minute. I'm first going to share with you the old way or the way not to do things. And that is, hey, I saw you were heading towards foreclosure and I help people just like you. I'm amazing. I'm awesome. Stay away from that, right? Like, it doesn't work, guys. What's really important for us is to get on their side of this stress, to get on their side of rapport, and to stay in rapport. And things like this, to identify that they're in foreclosure and to tell them when you know that you're in a stressful situation, it builds this huge barrier that you're never going to get around. So I highly recommend you don't tell them that you know they've missed a payment. You don't tell them that they're in a financial stressful situation. It's just not the right move. So here's a couple of recommendations that we make instead. One of the better ways is I'm calling everyone in your neighborhood right now because home prices are up. Now, some of your neighborhoods in the last few weeks have slipped. So just adjust that to whatever's happening in your neighborhood. But that's the script, right? I'm calling everyone in the neighborhood right now to give you an update on home prices and what's happening in today's market. If you were offered the right price for your home, would you be willing to sell? Great script. Perfect opportunity for you guys that like to screenshot that slide. It's a great one. A perfect script for you guys to use with this type of data. Even works with the pre-foreclosure data as well. Another way, I know your house isn't for sale right now. Now you already know the situation they're in, but we're saying something a little bit different just because we don't want to build barriers. We want to crush those barriers and build rapport. I know your house isn't for sale right now, but have you ever thought about selling? No, not really. Oh, you're kidding. So everything looks good for you next 60, 90 days? Yeah, I think so. Not a problem at all. Do you mind if I send you a market report with an update of what the market's doing with not only your home, but things that are happening in the neighborhood over the next few months? Do you mind if I send you just a monthly update? And can I get your email to show you the price of your home, whether things are going up or down? We're seeing some things in certain markets where things are slipping, and I just want to get you some updates there. So those are the types of conversations we want to have. They're cordial, they're soft landings. We're not identifying all the information we know about the home. It's okay not to do that yet. And it's just more important to focus on the relationship and finding a way to stay in touch with the homeowner over the next 60 to 90 days so these can become your listings. Okay, so guys, here's the details. I was at a really big conference in February, and I thought we'd be first to market with this distressed product. Well, a guy was on stage, and he was selling 500 homes that are in distress in your area. This is just sorry, I got ahead of myself. This is something that we just offer. It's a targeted area. It's scrubbed. It's filtered. Not only is it guaranteed, but it's also exclusive, guys. What you're going to give us is a list of about 10 zip codes that you're interested in looking at this data. And then in order, we're going to prioritize and find you the 500 homes closest in your area that are in this distressed situation. Now, it's also exclusive. We're going to sell this in your zip code, and we're not going to sell it to anybody else that month. Now, if you don't want updates on it the next month, we'll sell it again. But for you, this is an opportunity. The beauty to this type of data, with expireds and FSBOs, many of you call them, but they get a lot of phone calls. This data, no one is calling these homeowners. No one. I love this data because you're the only person they've talked to in the last 6 months about selling their home. It's a beautiful way to have a conversation, establish a relationship, and the homeowner doesn't mind typically talking to a person like you because they haven't taken this call. So what's the pricing? Well, I told you this guy on stage launched something very similar, very small company, but they were selling it for $2,000 for 500 homes. And I thought, geez, that's crazy. I think we can do it for less. Now, this is very exclusive. It's high-end data. It is expensive to us. So what we decided is we could do it for better. Now, if you've not worked with LandVoice and you don't have FSBOs or expireds with us, we have to set up an account. And so what we're offering is $1,250 for 500 of your closest homes that are in distress in your market. If you're working with LandVoice or have a subscription already with us, it'll be $1,000 for that file. And then every month, if you want updates, it'll be $500 to update with the 500 homes. Some have fallen off that list. Some new ones have come on, and you'll get those updates each month. Now, I know that sounds expensive to many of you, but if you have the right operational procedures in place and you're willing to have very cordial, fun conversations where you're willing to help these homeowners, the ROI on a list of 500 homes like this is going to be monumental for you and your business, especially as the economy turns and is doing some different things from what we're seeing so far. So a couple things, guys. You can learn more about distressed. You can go to this website, landvoice.com/distressed. You can type in all of your zip codes. Give us at least 10 in the order that you'd like to see homes, because it's only 500. And in some of you, we can find 500 in your first 5 zip codes. Some of you, it might take 12 or 15 zip codes to find 500 homes, but we'll find those and identify them for you. And we can do a free data lookup to help you with that. Now, Sean, we promised an offer to everybody that stuck around. Here's the offer. And Ariana will get right to your question. We just offered an amazing rate of $100 a month for FSBOs, expireds, pre-foreclosures, and neighborhood search. Sean hit me up this week and he said, Sean, that's amazing and it's really cool, but can't people just try out the product for a minute and just make sure it's for them? And he asked for 14 days free for everyone that was on this webinar. And I thought that was really cool. And then I said, hey, let's go one better. So everyone that's here, if you're not currently using LandVoice, if you're using LandVoice, you're getting a great deal. Happy to take care of you with distressed or anything else. But for everyone that is on the call today, and is it in chat? Do we already have that? There's a link we're going to send you right now. And in that link, we're going to give you 30 days free of LandVoice. Now that 30 days free is for FSBOs, expireds, the neighborhood search tool, and pre-foreclosures. Distressed is still going to be this $1,000 for your first 500 homes, and that updated $500. So you've got basically 3 offers today. You've got a free 30 days on FSBOs, expireds, pre-foreclosures, and neighborhood search. After that, we can get you into $100 a month, which is about $200 to $300 a month less than LandVoice competitors. And then we've got a new product that is exclusive that you can now have access to get yourself ahead of the line and start working with the homeowners that are in a really bad position right now with all the economic headwinds that we're currently experiencing. So Sean, that's all I got, but I'd love to take some questions with your group if you don't mind.
Sean, first off, remarkable, man. Just amazing job. I'm just so impressed with what you guys are offering over at LandVoice. I truly am. Ariana, let's go over to you.
Hi there. First of all, thank you for all the great information that you guys shared with us today. I just had a really quick question when it comes to the phone numbers for the listing, right? FSBOs and expired listing. Are they the phone numbers to the real owners, or because a lot of times might be just random numbers?
Yeah, great question. So with FSBOs, we aggregate that when a FSBO lists it or tries to list it, on like a Craigslist or a Zillow or a newspaper, wherever it is. So we're trusting that phone number. Now we can do a reverse lookup and find that as well, Ariana, if we need to. With the expireds, there's other services out there that the expired owner's phone number is in the MLS. Well, we don't trust that because most agents don't put the homeowner's number in the MLS. So what we do is we take the address and we standardize it to make sure the address looks like a USPS standard address. We standardize it first. Then we do a reverse lookup to make sure we look at the tax record in the name, and then we match the phone number to that name of the owner on the tax record before we actually send it and deliver it to you. So we go through a pretty long process to make sure we're getting you the best quality when it comes to phone numbers and talking to the homeowner.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course. Great question. Thanks. Ray, looks like you're up.
Hey, Sean, good to see you.
You too.
I've got the FSBO bundle I've had with you guys for years. What I need to do to increase it to that first bundle we talked about?
Yeah. So I'm going to post, guys, in chat. It is up at the top of the chat, but if you guys came in late, you might not see it. A couple of things. One, I would just go to landvoice.com, Ray, for you. Go to landvoice.com/icon, and you can put in that information, and our team will get you upgraded with expireds and pre-foreclosures and neighborhood search. And it'll be just a quick entry. You can also call us anytime, guys, let me see if this slide will take you there. I thought I had a phone number for you, but I was taking it out. Our phone number, guys, is 888-678-0905. And I'm just going to put that in chat as well. You can go to our homepage and see it. But Ray, you can talk to our support or our sales team, and they'll take good care of you. Just make sure you tell them you saw this on Sean's webinar today, so they can get you that pricing.
All right. Thanks, Sean.
You bet. David's back.
Yes. So are you going to be phasing out or doing away with any of the classic packages like the Elite, or are those still going to be available?
Great question, David. Yeah, so we've got kind of a basic and a pro and elite bundles. Those are still there. We're going to simplify them though, David. We're going to make sure you guys have the best pricing and the best data. So those aren't going away. We're just going to make them even better. Some other ways we're going to make them better is we've been in the business, guys, for 10, 15, 20, 30 years providing phone numbers. You're going to see better emails come from us in the next 2 to 3 weeks. You're going to see the social media. You're also going to see a lot of demographic data added. So we're going to show you kind of household income, how many children in the home, and there's basically going to be 10 demographic line items out for you to show you a little bit more detail of what's in the home as well.
Okay, so that being the case, is some of us have been with you for a while. Are you still going to honor your grandfather prices, or is that going to change as well?
Yeah, so no one that's currently with us is going to be hurt on pricing. There will be probably some price increases in August or September, but David, I recommend you call into our sales team, make sure you've got the best pricing, and we're going to honor and keep you guys as I'm going to call you our OGs or right? You're people, you're our people, and we're going to take care of you first, David, as well as everybody that's on this call.
Okay, thanks.
You bet.
Fantastic. Well, Sean, you at LandVoice, you guys are doing some incredible things for us as realtors to get access to the right data. You guys, it's not only what you're going to say, how you're going to say it, how many people you're going to say it to, yet it's also about who you're going to say it to. I mean, sure, you can go out and make 100 phone calls and get a big fat goose egg in terms of number of appointments, or you can make 100 phone calls with LandVoice and maybe schedule 15, 20, 25 appointments because you're calling the right people. They're segmenting the data for you. They're telling you who's likely to sell, who's in distress. This is before pre-foreclosure. And the point that I want to underline, and I don't want to slip through the cracks here, is that you get the data before the wholesalers and other realtors get the data, because these are people who are just missing mortgage payments. They haven't hit the public list of notice of default yet. So you get to do a preemptive strike. You get to start forming the relationship before they get into that major distress situation. Sean, I think it's awesome. It is amazing. Sean, I want you back for another webinar. We're going to talk through several different points of LandVoice and the value that you provide to agents. Again, everything, and I mean everything, you guys, it starts with list building. And this is the easy button. Sure, you could spend the next week trying to assemble your data set, or you can just simply sign up for LandVoice for free for the next 30 days, extract the data that you need, and try the system out. If it works for you, if it works for your strategy, your tactics, your behavior, your personality, and what you want to do, well, then this is the easiest way to do it, and it's not going to cost you a cent. Now, there's something else I want to mention. I've been pondering this question for the last probably 10 years in my own mind, and I think I've come up with an answer. And I'm looking for a beta set group that wants to participate in what I'm about to roll out to you. And I've always wondered, should the coach be responsible for their clients' results? Now, the traditional coaching model is you pay this much per month and you have weekly calls or every other week calls, and whether you produce or not, you still get to write that check to your coach. So what Rob Daniel and I, Rob is the CEO of Icon Coaching, we've been playing with a model that is a predicated coaching model or a contingent model, meaning that you don't pay for coaching unless you close a transaction. And if you're open-minded to investigating this, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to iconcoaching.com. Request a free coaching call. Now, we do have some parameters. We want you to close at least 2 million in sales volume per year. And what we want to do is we want to push you to 10. And if that's within your mindset, within your goal set, well, then this could be the best answer for you. See, we believe so much in what we do here at Icon Coaching. All of our clients are crushing it. They're doubling, tripling, quadrupling their production in real estate. And so I'm happy to put my chips on the pass line because I think we can get you to pass. I think we can move you from 2 million or 5 million or 20 million to double your production over the course of the next quarter. So it'd be a predicated coaching model that you don't pay us until you close a transaction. And I hope that makes sense. And if you're open-minded to discussing it, and while we're on just on the front edge of this model, I do want to pull together just a beta set, a beta test group, if that makes sense, of individuals that we can test this with over the course of the next 90 days. And if you're ready to mash your foot down on the gas pedal and you want to go fast, you want to eliminate all of those common pitfalls that many agents fall into and help us kind of guide you down the path. See, it's really hard to read the label when you're stuck inside the bottle. I think you guys would agree with that. And having somebody in the outside of the bottle able to read the label to you, somebody who's been there and done that, who can shortcut the process for you. Gang, this is going to make a world of difference in your career. And again, you don't pay us anything until you close a transaction. So if you're open-minded, you want to discuss that, go to iconcoaching.com, click on the free coaching tab, set your appointment, and one of our representatives, if not me, we're going to have a direct one-on-one conversation. We're going to help you solve at least one problem, and we'll talk through this new model as to how you could get coaching without actually having to guarantee payment. I hope that makes sense. And if you're open-minded to it, make that happen. Sean, Mr. Farr, once again, you've impressed me. You always do. And I sincerely appreciate all the data that you brought to this call, as well as the strategy and the tactic as to how these people can help others. See, gang, we are paid in direct proportion to the value that we provide to people. And we're also paid to find solutions to problems. And this is a great way to make sure that we can solve their problem before it becomes a major problem. All right, gang. So we are 2 minutes after the top of the hour. I'm going to let you all run. We do these webinars every single month. We're definitely going to have Sean Farr and Land Voice come back on with us. And I can't wait to talk through the other facets of the new models that you guys are bringing to the table for real estate agents. It's game changing, you guys. Until we talk again next time, just be on purpose, be productive, be powerful, and I'll talk to you all soon. Take care.
See you guys.